And it's Arcanine PC. We're by far the greatest team that the world has ever seen. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. You can call me Kai Guy, and if this is your first time here, then a very big special welcome to you. I am your coach. Wait for it. Of the Arcanine Pokemon Club, that is Arcanine PC for short, and we are here for our week number 5, I had to think about that for a second, battle here in the NBA Season 5 of the Swarm Division, and we are taking on Mr. LethalBlue. You guys know him, you love him, friend of the stream, friend of the channel. He did beat us last season in a narrow 2-0. It was a very close game, so I'm looking for that run back. We wanted the run back in finals. Unfortunately, we did not get that last year, and or last season, I should say. We're hoping we can make that happen again this season in finals. We shall see what happens. But for now, we do have the run back here in the regular season, so we're going to try and even up the Kai Guy Lethal standings. Currently, he is up 1-0 in that regard, so let's see if we can even that out. Speaking of records as well, we are currently 3-1 on the season, while he is currently 1-3. He's had some very, very close losses to some very, very tough teams, so I have faith in my guy to turn it around. We'll see how that ends up going for us, though. Hopefully, he doesn't turn around against me. I will say that much. But we've got our team on the screen. We've got Lethal's team on the screen. Let's go ahead and break down what he could possibly bring. Looking at his team, he's got a very solid team. I love this team quite a bit, actually. I think it's one of my top 4 favorite drafts. So he's got Slowking, Galar, Mega Mawile, Annihilate, Greninja, Landorus, Incarnate, which is one of his Terra captains, Blissey, Blastoise, Shaman as his other Terra captain, and Carkol. Yo, I'm going to be a little sad if he doesn't bring the Carkol, I'm not going to lie. Nah, I think Carkol kind of gets wrecked by my first Pokemon, so we'll see. So that is a possible team he could bring. Looking at them, I feel like Annihilate is for sure a bring into me. It's probably one of the best Mons into my team that he's got. Slowking doesn't look too bad either. I don't know if he brings the Mawile, because I feel like I have a lot for that. Gren is also very annoying. My mentor Poito Shark and I have definitely prepped a lot for Gren. So I feel like the 6 he brings is probably Lando, Shaman, Blissey, Gren, Annihilate, Slowking. I feel like those are probably the 6 he ends up going with. Because I feel like Shaman's a really good Garchomp shutdown. So hopefully we can pivot around that. We actually have a way, we think, that should work out things in our favor, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and break down my team first, and we'll jump into the replay. So looking at our team on screen real quick, we've got leading the way, leading the charge, our first overall pick, Behemoth the Garchomp, holding a loaded dice with Rough Skin, and the moves Swords Dance, Scale Shot, Earthquake, and Iron Head. Pretty standard SD Garchomp set. I had the thought of running like a substitute with this, but I felt like Iron Head was probably more important here. And that is for one main reason. I feel like the Terra Fairy, either Lando or Shaman, is really good into my team and good for Garchomp in general. So because of that, I decided to run Iron Head on this because it will be super effective. So looking at that, Iron Head also does do good work to the Mawile, but I mean, I would just Earthquake that anyway. Earthquake does good work to Slowking, does good work to Mawile. Annihilate doesn't really want to take 2, especially at +2. Blissey doesn't want to take 2 at +2. Honestly, Garchomp does work. The only thing that could be a little bit annoying is if he's max HP, max defense, Shaman, Terra Fairy. That could be a little bit frustrating, but maybe with our Iron Head we can kind of handle that. Loaded dice is there to make sure we get at least 4 scale shots to boost our speed. Earthquake is just there for general ground stats. Swords Dance boosts the attack. You know how it is. 248 speed brings to 332, enough speed to speed creep a max speed Landorus Incarnate form. So that's why we've got that. 2v2 attack, of course, be as hardened as possible. And we had 8 leftover AVs. We just threw those in HP for a little bit of extra bulk. That is going to be Behemoth's main thing. Could set up and sweep. That's kind of its main goal for the week. Speaking of setup and sweep, next up we've got Leechgrave, the Ogre Pond Cornerstone, holding the Cornerstone Mask, of course, with the Sturdy ability, and Swords Dance, Trailblaze, Ivy Cudgel, Stomping Tantrum. This also puts in work. I thought about swapping this around for making it a little bit more of a support Pokemon this week, like speed support, like Taunt, Spike, Encore, and maybe, I don't know, probably Knockoff. I ended up going against that because this thing also kind of puts in work this week, and it was kind of too good to pass up. So one of our hopefully powerful, hard-hitting physical attackers should be able to step and sweep. It's just a matter of which one it'll be. But we do have that Swords Dance to make sure we boost our physical attack times 2 stages. Sturdy is also there to make sure we guarantee live a hit. Trailblaze is there to boost our speed. It also does good damage to Blastoise and Greninja. And then we've also got the Ivy Cudgel here for basically everything else. The only thing that maybe we would want the Stomping Tantrum for is the Mega Mawile. So that's why we have that move on that. But outside of that, like, honestly, Ogerpon looks pretty fire, too. Like, nothing on his team really wants to take 1 or 2 Ivy Cudgels, especially at +2. And then if we can get the speed boost going, too, we'll be able to outspeed anything but a Choice Scarfer, because I believe his fastest is Gren at 122 speed. So if we get a +1 boost on that, or a +1 boost thanks to Trailblaze, we'll be able to outspeed that, because ain't no way he's going to run Scarf on his fastest Pokemon. So that would be really helpful for us. Then we got 72 HP in this thing, 252 attack, max attack, of course, and then 184 speed Jolly Nature this week gets me to 332, which I believe was for again a max speed Landorus Therian. Because Annihilate is base 90, right? Yeah, Annihilate is base 90, so this is again for the max speed Landorus Incarnate. I think I said Therian. But max speed Landorus Incarnate gets outsped by this because I believe that hits 330. So we are good to go on that, because I'm pretty sure this is a jump point, I want to say. No, it's 331. Okay, so either way, we're good. Either way, we outspeed Landorus Incarnate, and that's all that matters to me. So that way we can get off a big hit on that thing, especially if we can get an Ivy Cudgel going. That would be very, very nice. So yeah, Ogerpon looks pretty good. Maybe we can sweep with that too. So we got 2 physical sweepers. Let's settle things down a little bit. Let's bring out the Aqua Tank, the Alomomola, holding the Assault Vest. I think I just knocked my microphone loose. I just want to make sure I'm still recording. All right, yeah, we're good. Holding the Assault Vest to boost its special defense this week with the Regenerator ability, of course, and Flip Turn, Knockoff, Play Rough, Mirror Coat. So looking at Lethal's team, Greninja is terrifying. It's actually terrifying. So we decided to go a Assault Vest Alomomola on this thing, on it this week to try and be a Gren answer. Flip Turn is there to keep the momentum, Knock Off to remove items, Play Rough is primarily there for the Annihilate if it wants to switch in, and then Mirror Coat is if the Greninja goes for, like, I don't know, I doubt you run Grass Knot because I don't think it does much to Ally, I don't think it's very heavy, but if it goes for, like, a, we'll say a Sludge Wave or a Dark Pulse, I can Mirror Coat that, and instantly a big threat is gone, so that's the way I see it. Just to get, basically, this is my Greninja answer. It also does do good work into the Mega Mawile as well, and it can even live from Annihilate if need be. We just gotta be careful about giving too many hits off on the Annihilate because we'll be boosting its Rage Fist base power every time we hit it. So that could be a little bit annoying, but we do have this thing kind of be just a general wall, be able to regen, get its HP back, and just be generally annoying. We're rocking max defense and max special defense with a, that shouldn't be, oh well, it's fine. I was going to say that should probably be a sassy nature instead of a careful nature, but it's fine. I don't think the speed's too important here. Although we could outspeed a Blissey, I suppose, so maybe that would be helpful. So we'll see. But we're not rocking any real HP investment this week. The defense and Spadef seem too good this week to not invest in. That way we can take on Annihilate and Gren, as well as Mawile to a certain extent, unless it's got, like, Thunder Punch or something. So that's mainly Aqua Tank's job, is to just be generally annoying, live hits, and bring in the rest of my team thanks to Flip Turn. And then if we can get a special hit off on something with Mirror Coat, that'd be nice. Because also we should be able to live a Seed Flare from Shaman. So we should be able to live that and then Mirror Coat, and then my biggest Garchomp answer is gone right after that. So that could be helpful as well. So that's going to be Aqua Tank. Next up, we got Storm Rider, the Thunderous Therian, holding the leftovers with Volt Absorb, and the move Substitute, Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Terra Blast. If Blissey comes, this thing shuts it down. It cannot touch Blissey. This thing cannot be touched by Blissey. So typically when you run a Blissey, you're probably running, like, maybe Stealth Rock, if you want to have that be your lead rocker. You're probably running something like a Seismic Toss, because Blissey's attack stats are garbage, and Seismic Toss just guarantees damage that way. You're probably running something like a Status, maybe like a Toxic, Thunder Wave, something along those lines. And maybe either Protect, Soft Boiled, Wish, some kind of healing move. So what does this thing do? Well, if this thing is running Thunder Wave, we are Volt Absorb, so it cannot hit me with electric type moves. If it's running Toxic, I sub up on it immediately. If it's running Seismic Toss, I am Terra Ghost. It cannot touch me. This thing is a hardcore Blissey counter. Get a free sub up, get a free Nasty Plot up, and go in. Because honestly, speed on my team is not too important this week outside of fighting Gren. Because this thing hits base 101, same as Landorus and Incarnate. So it's a speed tie, but if we win that speed tie, then Landorus dies, like 100% of the time. So that could be pretty helpful for shutting down the majority of his team. And then, like, from there, if Blissey chooses to stay in, we just keep setting up nasty plots, and we just kind of go in from there. Because, like, Terra Ghost does work into this team. Annihilate does not want to take a Terra Ghost attack. Same with Slowking Galar. Greninja doesn't want to take a +2 Thunderbolt. Blastoise doesn't want to take a +2 Thunderbolt. This Mon goes stupid with Terra Ghost this week. So this is kind of the play at the moment. Max speed, max special attack on this thing with a tiny little bit in defense and a nice and little timid nature. Guaranteeing that we speed tie with a max speed Landorus Incarnate. And also making sure we can hit as hard as possible. But mainly this thing's here to set up on Blissey. That is 100% the main reason this thing is here, is to set up on Blissey. So hopefully we can make that happen. Next up, we got Large Body, the Mega Aggron, holding the Aggronite, of course, with the Filter ability and the move. Stealth Rock Roar, Toxic Heavy Slam, pretty standard Mega Aggron, a very solid physical wall, which is what I need to be this week, primarily for the Annihilate as well as the Mawile. It kind of shuts down both. Even Annihilate, like Close Combat or Drain Punch, doesn't do that much. Like, I think I live 2 most times, unless he's like Choice Band or something, thanks to our EVs. So it's here to be a good physical wall, answer a lot of the annoying mons on my opponent's team, like that Mawile, like that Annihilate. If he wants to run physical Landorus, it could probably live 1 as well, because I think Landorus does get Sword Stance, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, if the Therian form does, then 100% Incarnate does. So that's kind of the play with this thing, is just to be an annoying, physically defensive Pokemon. Stealth Rock is there to get hazards up on my opponent's side, because I do not have the Defog this week on Moltres. I thought about bringing Moltres, but I don't know if it would really be worth it. Because I don't really like the matchup into certain aspects of the team. Like, it's good into Mawile, it could be good into Annihilate, but then he's also got 2 water types. He's got a Blissey that kind of shuts it down. Landorus, if it's got a rock move, shuts me down and outspeeds me, depending on the Terra for the Shaman. Honestly, the Carkol is a threat to Moltres. Anyway, but Stealth Rock is here just to get up my hazards. Roar to phase things out and around. Toxic is just to whittle things down. Heavy Slam for general damage. That's kind of the play with this thing. Max HP, max defense. Tiny little bit into attack. Pretty standard Mega Aggron. We got a nice and little impish nature this week to boost that defense stat even higher. 614 is crazy. But that's kind of the play for Large Body this week. And finally, we've got Pink Concerto, the Tapu Lele, holding the Light Clay with Psychic Surge, and the moves Reflect, Light Screen, Nature's Madness, and Psy Shock. So we are rocking a support Tapu Lele this week. Full-on support, speedy, HP bulky support, Reflect and Light Screen to help my team take on hits and stuff. Make sure we got those up, and thanks to our Light Clay, they will last for 8 turns instead of 5. My opponent also does not have a Defogger. Both of his ways of hazard removal are Rapid Spin. I don't think Landorus gets Defog, but now I'm second guessing. I'm 99% sure it doesn't. But he only has Rapid Spin. He only has the Blastoise, and he only has the Carkol that can Rapid Spin. So he's got no way to defog away my screens. So I kind of decided that dual screens would be pretty good here. So Reflect and Light Screen will reduce our damage that we take from physical and special attacks, which is very nice. Psychic Surge will shut down priority as well, while also boosting our Psy Shock's power, which could be good for something like the Annihilate or the Slowking Galar, and the Blissey as well. And then we also got Nature's Madness to really kind of chunk things down, get a guaranteed half HP off onto something. So something like the Blissey, I think Nature's Madness into Psy Shock should KO, depending on his spread. Most likely max HP, max defense, but you never know. So that could be pretty helpful as well. And then, like I said, we're rocking the max HP. 216 speed is enough speed to speed creep, I believe, a Annihilate, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because we hit 95. We're base 95, and Annihilate's base 90. So unless he's Scarf Annihilate, we will outspeed all forms of Annihilate, so that could be nice to get off a big Psy Shock on that. Because even with our special attack investment on this, like what little we do have, Annihilate probably doesn't take... I think it has a chance... I can't remember the calc off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it has a chance to go down in Psychic Terrain. So that could be really nice to just get that thing gone immediately. But I doubt you stay in on that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This thing is a bit Gren weak because of it getting Sludge Wave and stuff, but Nature's Madness could be helpful, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's our 6 that we're bringing for Mr. Lethal Blue this week. Let me know what you guys think of the team down in the comments below. What would you have done differently? Let me know. Before we get in the battle, I just want to say definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here too. It really helps me out a ton and lets me know that you're really enjoying the Draft League content. We actually just hit 900 subscribers recently on this channel, and that's insane. So thank you guys so much for that. But let's go for 1,000. Let's go for the full band, shall we? Let's go for the full band. So I really appreciate if you can help me out with that. And then it also lets me know you really like the Draft League content. So I really appreciate that. I think I've held you guys long enough. So let's go ahead and jump into the battle. I will see you guys in just a moment. All right, we are back. We got all connected with Mr. Lethal Blue, had the battle, and we are here for a little post-commentary discussion of the replay. Looking at Lethal's team, we do not see the Greninja, which honestly, when I saw this at Team Preview, I am not a religious man by any stretch of the imagination. I looked to the heavens and said thank you. So no Greninja is really helpful this week. That's super, super nice for me. We do see the Blissey, so that means we can Terra Ghost and set up on that. We also see, you guys won't be able to see it yet, but he is Terra Fairy Shaman, so we did call that in team prep. He is Terra Fairy on the Shaman. He's also Terra Dark on the Landorus. Most likely Terra would probably be the Shaman just to kind of shut down Garchomp, but since we have our Iron Head, we'll be chilling. Looking at the rest of his team, Terra Ghost Stunny goes stupid here, like actually insane. And Garchomp actually looks really good. Leechgrave doesn't look as good as originally hoped. Like, it still doesn't look bad, but there's definitely more that shuts down Leechgrave compared to shuts down Garchomp. And then getting up my screen seems very helpful early on because he doesn't really have a lot that wants to come in on Lele outside of the Mawile. And if he ever goes Mawile, that's a free Aggron. So we're chilling. Looking at his team, the Aggron lead is so good for me. Like, it just matches up so well against everything not named Landorus or Annihilate. So 4 of 6, it matches up super well, especially because he's Terra Fairy on the Shaman. So I definitely want to lead Aggron, as he makes a very good lead because of that. And here you guys go. We see he is Terra Dark on the Landorus and Terra Fairy on the Shaman. He makes a very good lead on his part, leading into the Landorus, which it was a great lead on his part. Because Aggron lead was so good for me that I had to do it. But, yeah, there's not much you can do. The good counter lead, what can you say? No shot I can stay in on this thing, right? So if he's got U-turn, it's kind of free. If he wants to hit his rocks, it's free. But I can't stay in on this thing. Like, I can't lose my Aggron immediately. I need that for Annihilate. I need that for Mawile. We also see we got the lethal nicknames. That's my goat. we'll explain them as we go, but today we have is a good part of it. So we'll get the rest of them as we go. So looking at this, I'm like, okay. Honestly, I could just go into my Leechgrave and just try and get up a big hit on this thing. That could be a good play I could go for. But if he's got the U-turn, that's fine. I thought he could set his rocks here based on his lead. So I was like, okay, if he's going to set the rocks, I don't have a way to remove those this week. I think going into Leechgrave is important to preserve the sturdy. So that is the play I'm going to end up making here. As we see, he's going to go for the Yui, and he makes a very good play right there, keeping it momentum, and I lose my sturdy anyway, so that's a bit unfortunate. As he's got a free switch in the Mawile. This is... So you might be asking yourselves, Kai, what is this huge jumble of letters that Lethal has nicknamed as Mawile? Well, you see, let's go ahead and break this down. And it's the Arcanine PC. We're by far the greatest team that the world has ever seen. That's my freaking goat. I didn't even realize until Lee pointed out in chat. Well, I'll show you guys later after he points it out. But as soon as Lee pointed out, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Lethal Blue, my freaking goat. My actual goat. Alright, so looking at this, his switch into Mawile is kind of free. I'm like, well... Honestly, Leechgrave is kind of useless at this point. Like, I'm intimidated. I lost my sturdy. That blows. I could just try and go for chippies and go for a little bit of a staunching tantrum. Even though I'm intimidated, it shouldn't do too bad of damage. So I'm just going to click the button, hope for the best. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Right there is where Leezy pointed it out, is what it stands for. Hell yeah. That when I saw that message in chat, I was flipping out. I was like, that's amazing. So damn good. All right. So I'm going to go for my Stomping Tantrum right here. It does 28%. That's chip, I guess. It's not much. As we see, Lethal makes an over prediction. He goes for the Baton Pass right here. So in hindsight, it was not a bad play at all because, you know, I probably should have swapped out into my Aggron here. But I was scared about taking like a superpower or some kind of fighting attack, maybe a Focus Punch into Aggron. And that would just decimate me if it went for that. So I was like, all right, I have to like stay in and hit this in case of a Focus Punch. So that's why I went for that Stomping Tantrum. As we see, he's going to make the switch in right here into his Annihilate thanks to that Baton Pass. Yeah, this is where I realized, this is where I realized, of that, what the nickname meant. And yeah, but then we got Let's Jump In. I say that a lot. That's my GOAT. Yeah, and like Leezy pointed out right here, that Mawile 8, so he's probably got a good amount of bulk investment into his Mawile, so that's helpful to know for us. Looking at this thing, we should outspeed the Annihilate. However, we will see that he is actually Choice Scarf. So that is actually very helpful information. We get the information that the Annihilate is Choice Scarf. That is very useful info. We may lose our Leech Grave in order to find that out, but that's extremely helpful for something like Garchomp or something like Thundy. So that's hugely, hugely helpful. So he can just freely go and keep up momentum on whatever he wants. As we see, he's going to bring in the Slow King right here. As I'm going to go Garchomp. So looking at this, I'm like, all right, Earthquake has to do a lot, like, surely. But I was worried about two things. I was worried, one, about Shuckaberry. Because I know Lethal's a good player. We have the Lethal rematch, my GOAT. I know Lethal's a very good player. So honestly, I would not be surprised if his plan for this was Shuckaberry Ice Beam. And that was my main concern. So that's why I decided I'm going to scout a little bit here and make a hard double. Because I feel like I need to scout this. So I'm going to go ahead and make a hard double right here, predicting this out into my Aggron. As we see, he does have the Ice Beam. We don't get confirmation on Shuckaberry, but we do see that he's got the Ice Beam. And if he was Shucka, I don't know if my Earthquake KO'd there. So I think this was a smarter play to get the Scout going, because the fact that he stayed in tells me he's either EV'd to live in Earthquake or he's Shuckaberry. So I think this was a smart play on my part. I can freely just go ahead and Mega Evolve and get up my Stealth Rocks here. If he wants to go ahead and Chilly Reception out, that's fine. As we see, that is exactly what he's going to do in bringing his Landorus, which is taking Stealth Rocks, so we know the Landorus is not heavy-duty boots. I can just freely go ahead and fire off a Heavy Slam right here if I want to. We'll find out if he's physical or special. We do see he's got the U-turn, so he could be physical, but it didn't do that much to Ogerpon, so more than likely he's probably a special attacker. Plus special is better in the Aggron anyway. He's going to set up his rocks. I'm going to click Heavy Slam right here. Do a nice and solid 50%. Very, very nice. And we see he is the Leftovers. Okay, so he's lefties on the Landorus Incarnate. That Heavy Slam did 50%, so it could be a roll to KO right here, but I'm going to go for it and see if we can hit it. You see, he's going to Earth Power, do a solid amount. I'm going to go ahead and Heavy Slam, and it does pick up the KO, so the roll goes in my favor right there. Aggron lives, holding on by a thread, which is a bit unfortunate. Well, no, I guess it's not, because, I don't know. We know this is Scarf, so actually it's not that bad. If this wasn't Scarf and it was Bulk Up, this could be annoying. But I do have Roar on it, so I guess we're chilling. He can freely go into this. If he wants to click Drain Punch, that's fine. We see it's taking Stealth Rocks as well. We know it's Choice Scarf. He's going to make the over-prediction right here and go for the U-turn. Does not going to KO. Only did 4% because we are indeed a Fizz-Def Aggron. And I can just freely fire off a Heavy Slam or go for Roar right here. And that Mawile is taking percent, as it's going to take a big Heavy Slam as well. And now one more Heavy Slam will KO it, which is nice. So getting the extra chip off on the Mawile, making it in range easily of basically any other attack is very nice. Honestly, I think even Psyshock from Lele in terrain at this range KOs, which is very helpful. But this thing's probably going to die this turn. Aggron is going to drop to the Iron Head. Imagine if I lived that. That would have been insane. But this is huge power Mawile. Ain't no way. So Aggron's going to drop. My switch in is 100% my Garchomp because I can just freely click Earthquake into whatever I want right here. Or if I want to get a little bit ballsy, I could click Swords Dance, predicting the Shaman here. We see he's actually just going to stay in, so I do make the correct call and go for the Earthquake. And the Mawile is going to drop. If he wants to bring in Shaman, that's fine. What's up, YouTube? So I know he's Terra Fairy. 100% I know he's Terra Fairy. I thought about going for SD right here. because SD into Iron Head should do a good amount to this thing, but I don't know his moveset quite yet, and I was worried about a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam. So I think I actually just go for the Iron Head, predicting the Terra. As we see, he's on the balloon. He's on the balloon. He is going to Terra Fairy. I'm going to go ahead and click the Iron Head. Does 43, so he's probably got at least some bulk into his Shaman. But if we get a flinch here, that could be massive for us. We pop the balloon. Do not get the flinch, unfortunately. That is a bit upsetting. So I think what his mindset was here was, if it's on an air balloon, if it's Terra Fairy on an air balloon, it shuts down SD sub Garchomp. Because if you're running SD sub Garchomp, you are running Swords Dance Substitute, which take up 2 of your moves, and you're running Scale Shot to boost your speed, and you're running Earthquake 100% of the time. So the Terra Fairy action with the air balloon actually makes a lot of sense right here, because it shuts down that moveset. If we didn't prep specifically for Terra Fairy on one of these mons, this would shut down my Garchomp 100%. So real glad we brought that Iron Head. So that's extremely helpful for us. I'm going to go out to my Lele right here and try and get either a big Psyshock off on this thing, because we'll have the Psychic Terrain up, or I can get up my my screens. I'm going to Psychic Surge, as he actually makes a god tier play. Definitely, I don't think this was his intention was, but basically he said, my terrain now, loser. As we see, the Shaman packs the Grassy Terrain, so it's definitely a bulky Shaman. Leech Seed, Grassy Terrain, probably Seed Flare, D-Gleam, I guess makes the most sense. I'm going to get my lefties back, as we see we are faster than him, because I got my leftovers first here. Or no, I'm not leftovers, I'm Light Clay. I got my Grassy Terrain recovery first, so we see we are faster. I'm going to go ahead and get my light screen up. He's going to Toxic me, that's fine. So we now know 3 of its 4 moves. So if it doesn't have D-Gleam, honestly, Garchomp can probably still take this on at the moment. So that's good to know. But I'm going to get my light screen up. And then I think I go for Reflect. I don't know if I really need it too much. I guess it's good for Ape. He's going to go ahead and click Leech Seed, which is fine. Honestly, I don't really mind that very much. I'm going to make a hard double into my Aloe right here. I'm assuming he knows I swap, so Leech Seed again is free. And he does. Like I said, Lethal's a good player. He knows what he's doing. And that Shaman's back up to full HP, taking a lot of little bits away from my team. I wanted to just go for Flip Turn right here to get a little bit of chip off. Out and then bring in either Thundy or Chomp. As he makes a good play right here and brings in his Annihilate. Because I want to go for Flip Turn right here. And then it's going to boost his Rage Fist because I'm hitting him. So that is now a base 100. That did a lot. Hold up, Aloe. What the heck? 18% is crazy. What? That's actually wild. I didn't even realize it did that much. But he is going to take 18% right here. He's going to get a little bit of chippies off, but that does boost his Rage Fist base power from 50 to 100, so we got to keep that in mind. I'm going to bring in my Storm Rider right here. I am Terra Ghost on this thing. So I'm just going to freely go ahead and click the Terra Ghost Terra Blast. But he brings in the Blissey. But this is what we want. Because I can just freely click Substitute right now. Because now this Blissey cannot touch me. And he knows that, so he has to go into Slowking. So I'm going to get my sub up. Honestly, I could have just plotted right here. I think plot might have been better. But I am going to get my nasty plot off. I'm going to get a bit... Because we see his go-to attack is Future Sight. So I think maybe getting just a straight-up plot could have been more helpful. But live and learn. It's fine. But a Terra Ghost Terra Blast easily KOs this thing from +2. 100%. 100% this thing dies. And we see Thundy picking up a kill. Thunderous with... I don't know what I was saying there. Thunderous with the Terra Ghost putting in the work so far thanks to that nasty plot boost. And we get our lefties back, which is very nice. Our light screen is going to wear off, which is a bit annoying. But in comes the Shaman. So I make a bit of a misplay right here. I go for the Terra Blast when Thunderbolt is stronger. I was not thinking in the moment. I should have just gone for the T-Bolt because I could have gotten the Para Chance. But I do go for Terra Blast. I get the... It does about 64, so it's definitely a 2-shot. But the Thunderbolt would have been the better play here just to possibly get a 10% para. As we see, his final move is Energy Ball. So we know it's full moveset. It does not have the D-Gleam for the Garchomp, so I think Garchomp kind of wins this 1v1, which is good to know. I am going to take the Future Sight. I'm going to take a lot from it, but we are getting our HP back, which is helpful because that means we might be able to sub up again. So that's good to know, actually. I can just freely KO this thing with a Terra Blast. In case he brought in like the Annihilate or something, I thought this would be a good thing to go for this turn. because if he brought in Annihilate, it died. If he brought in Blissey, I sub up next turn. So either way, we were chilling. And then we'd be guaranteed to be able to eat something from the Annihilate. So that was kind of my thought process the second time. First time, I definitely should have clicked the Thunderbolt, but live and learn. As we see, we are going to get a little bit of HP back, and we are able to make another substitute, which is good. But he's going to bring the Scarf Annihilate, so it's not really going to matter too much. I'm like, all right, you did your thing, Thundy. Go ahead and drop. He's going to Rage Fist me. That's fine. My Garchomp is free right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring him in. He's going to Rage Fist, as my play 100% is to Scale Shot right here, because if I hit, I outspeed, and then I can hit Blissey next turn. I could have gone just for the straight up Earthquake, because I think Rough Skin into Earthquake would KO here, but the Scale Shot I think was, well, Scale Shot has a chance to miss though. I think Earthquake was a roll. I think it was in my favor, but it was a roll. But if I go for Scale Shot, then actually I don't remember. I think I just forgot about Rough Skin. I'm not gonna lie. But we do Scale Shot, we do hit, and we do see we get our 4 hits, and that thing is gonna drop. Is Scale Shot? I can't remember if Scale Shot's base 20 or base 25. If it's base 25 per hit, then Scale Shot was the better play. If it's base 20 per hit, then Earthquake was the better play. But like I said, live and learn. Live and learn. But now we are speedy. I guess if we also hit and didn't get our hits we need to KO, we'd be able to outspeed next turn Earthquake anyway. So maybe Scale Shot was the play. But if we missed, we probably just lost. So that's fun. He's going to bring in the Blissey right here. We see it's heavy duty boots. I can just freely click Earthquake. Does a solid 47. The Blissey's going to go for the Seismic Toss. Get chunked down thanks to the Rough Skin. And does 40%. Does a Psy Shock from Lele at this range KO? Does it do 40%? It sure do. And we are able to pick up that hashtag Dubski. If that did not KO, things would have gotten a little bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. Because then the Blissey heals itself. Because let's take a look. I'm pretty sure he was Wish Protect. Yeah, he's Wish Protect, Aromatherapy, Seismic Toss. So if he would have gotten, if that wouldn't have KO'd, we probably would have lost that, I believe. It would have been close, but it would have, it definitely would have been a bit tough for your boy. Because I think you just spam Wish and Protect, like, alternatively, and then, like, Lele dies to Toxic, and then you Seismic Toss the Aloe. I don't know. It could have been a bit dicey, but we did pick up the KO. GG's LethalBlue. That was a great game, my dude. That was a lot of fun. Your Arcanine Pokemon Club, pick up that hashtag Dubski and move to 4-1 on the season. So we are currently in the top 3 of the division right now. If we can keep our winning ways going, we will have a shot at a top 3, top 2, or maybe even number 1 seed. So let's see if we can keep those hopes alive. Let me know what you guys thought of the battle down in the comments section below. Let me know what you would have done differently. What do you think about the battle? Yeah, just let me know down in the comments. Again, GG's to Lethal, my GOAT. Always a pleasure battling you, my man. Looking forward to hopefully getting the run back in playoffs this season. So hopefully we'll see if we can make that happen, especially in finals. But we'll see how that ends up going. I'll be back here next Sunday for another battle. We'll be having our Week 6 battle in the NBA. And we are going to be taking on who? We're taking on, oh my god, the back-to-back. We're going to be taking on Stormtide, who, if you don't remember, Stormtide is the person that I played in finals last season, where we did win the championship. So we're going to be playing, we got 2 rematches. We got the Lethal rematch, and now we got the Stormtide rematch. So we'll see how that ends up going for us. We'll be back here next week for that battle. Definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here, and leave a like on the video because it helps me out a ton. I will catch y'all next time. Until then, I'm going to leave you all with this. Take care, and